Don't give up on the vision God has placed within you. Sometimes life gets in the way of what God has anointed us to do. But that is when we need to launch out into the deep and reconnect with God. When Peter toiled all night fishing and caught nothing, Jesus told him to go a little deeper. Peter was frustrated, tired, and felt maybe Jesus didn't understand that he was an experienced fisherman. But he said, "Because you say so, I will let down my net." And he caught so many fish that the net began to break. Peter's outcome changed because he was able to overlook his past failures and have faith in Jesus. When you are struggling with your dreams, remember to launch out to Jesus. He will help you to rediscover your pathway of success and provide a breakthrough that will be exceedingly and abundantly more than you can ask or think. So, if your dreams have been deferred, don't be like Mike. Be like Peter and say, "Because you say so, I will." This is Reverend Rick McCain with something you should know.
Now boarding the McCain train with Reverend Rick and author Brenda McCain. They're bringing hot and powerful topics regarding relevant issues on marriage, relationships, and life-changing family topics. And they are funny, engaging, energetic, and they bring real talk that reaches beyond the walls of the church. They have been successful because they have discussed topics like, "Help me, I want to grow old. My addiction is hurting my relationship. Aborted but not forgotten. Living in an HIV/AIDS relationship. The hand that loves me is hurting me." So if you want to know their glory, you have to know their backstory. So get on board the McCain train and listen to the Let's Stay Together Internet Talk Show.
Director of Malcolm Williams and Great Faith, and you're listening to the Let's Stay Together Show.
Hello, this is Reverend Rick McCain, and I'm with my wife, author Brenda McCain, my baby, my girl, my boo, and this is the Let's Stay Together Show, and we are here and honored to be here with Terry Vaughn. And Terry, we are just so happy to have you here on the Let's Stay Together Show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful.
Well, great. Tell us a little bit about your role in this movie, 72 Hours.
You're Ricky Dillon, and you're listening to Let's Stay Together radio show.
Hello, this is Reverend Rick McCain, and I'm here with my baby, my girl, my boo, author Brenda McCain from the Let's Stay Together show, and I love my wife. But let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, this is an actor that I love. Mr. Harry Lennox, it is so nice to see you, sir. Thank you for being on the Let's Stay Together show.
Well, thank you, Rick. This is great, and I am honored to be with you and your beautiful wife.
Well, my question for this beautiful lady is she's very modest, and if I can do a shout out to you, because I got approval for this business my girl. I'm taking it back to Levita from Steve Harvey, but I love all of her work and everything that she does. And she's a 3-time Emmy Award winner, so that's why I said she's modest, and I know you're going to bring to this movie the goodness that you brought to Debbie's little girl, because you was so good as a level-headed girlfriend that kept everything going.
She was mean.
She was level-headed. She was, but I love you.
Very
so
judgmental.
You don't do mean roles. I love you.
If you would like to advertise on the Let's Stay Together Talk Show or be a sponsor, contact us at letsstaytogethertalkshow.com and call 708-713-4958. Welcome back to the Let's Stay Together Talk Show. Your next stop, the McCain train.
You are now returning to the Let's Stay Together Talk Show.
All right, welcome back to the Let's Stay Together Show. I'm going to get this title right, y'all. I'm going to actually read it. I'm the daddy, not just their baby's daddy. I said it wrong again, didn't it? I'm the father. Can you believe that I wrote this? I went to public school. I tell you, I wrote all of these titles. Can't remember them because I'm thinking too much. So I'm going to slow down. My mom always said, boy, slow down when you can't remember nothing. So I'm going to slow down. I'm the father, not just their baby's daddy. And you know what I'm going to do from now on, because I know I'm going to mess this up? I'm going to let my baby say the titles from now on. Because you had to say it now. I just said it. Don't embarrass a brother. I just said the title. Hey, we want you to give us a call here. You know, we have people contact us on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, but you can also call us at 312-754-4333. That's 312-754-4333. I'm going to go to my brother Darren over here. So now I can talk. I just can't remember titles. Darren, I'm going to talk to you because we were talking a little bit about, you know, what Anthony said about, you know, the father, you know, being, you know, afraid that, you know, if he contacted the child, that the child may not respond. In a lot of cases, and, you know I had a child before, too, before me and my wife got married, and I had a situation where, you know, the mother was trying to keep the child away, and it was very difficult. It was very hard. It was all the negative things that happened. And so as a father trying to go through that responsibility, it can be very difficult because you're fighting not only trying to reach the child, you know, the mother might be there causing something, the grandmama might be there, the mother-in-law might be there, everybody trying to stop a brother from talking to his child. When that happens, just talk to me a little bit, you know, about what should we do when, even though that they're trying to stop us, that we should be persistent when trying to reach out to that child.
We should still try to reach out to the children and get in contact with them and just try to make it work, regardless of the things that are placed against us, the people that are trying to stop the progress of the communication lines together. We can just, one way or the other, we just got to keep on pushing and pray and hope God give us the means and bounds to open up the doors so that we can keep our communication lines open.
Yeah, and you know, that's the thing about it, is that we've got to constantly keep on talking. And I'm going to let my wife get back on here and talk for a second. We're going to cut her off about 2 seconds. So you get, this is the man show. I got men. You know, we've been doing this for almost 2 years, and I think I can't even count the number of shows we've had more men on there. Be quiet, Tracy. So I'm excited. You know, it's almost like I'm preaching right now. And God said,
y'all don't step up.
Hey, wait a minute.
Well, we got your back today.
Thank you, Shema. We don't step up. We're going to step up and volume right now. So go ahead and give out your question so we can push you off the air again. Go ahead, girl.
Okay, I'm going to go to Mr. Anthony again because I really want to hear this answer. Was it hard being a single dad?
We're going to go around the room.
You know, that was one of the toughest, if you want to call it a job, if you want to call it a task, if you want to call it a journey, if you want to call it a lifestyle, you know, if you want to call it love, whatever you want to call it. It was one of the toughest experiences I've had. I thought after raising my children, putting them through private school, helping them graduate through college, and seeing them and watching them leave the nest, I thought after that job was done, which was harder than any other thing I've done in my life, you know, so you call me to come to heaven now, God, or something? Because just about anything you call me to do now, I believe I can actually do it with no problem.
How old were the children when you got them?
Actually, when I received custody, they were between like 8 and 9. So the first 3 years, my wife and I were together, ex-wife, a long, long time ago. And then
long.
Between that time, the time period, you know, it was the back and forth, and it was the custody and all that crazy stuff. And then finally hit that home run in the name of God, and everything worked out in my favor. I was able to raise them. But yeah, it's something that you have to have a made up mind about, and then you need a good community of people that's going to be there for you. And then you have to have a plan, a strategy. I mean, a real action plan. 2 days a week, I cook. 2 days, my little daughter cooked because my mother and them sort of showed how to cook. 2 days a week we went out, and then the last day we did family day on Sunday at my mother's. I talk about it in my book once again. So, you know, those are some of the things that we did. But yeah, by the grace of God, with God's strength, and God just being there with me, allow other good people be in my life as well as godly people be in my life to encourage me to make that happen, to make that a success. And there's nothing that you can do by yourself. So the men out there, I really encourage them, you know, to make sure they have that community. The old saying, it takes a community to raise a child, and you can do it. And there's another saying that talks about, you know, it only takes 5% to change 80% of the minds and the behaviors in a positive way in the community. So it doesn't take a lot of people. It only takes a few good men.
Hey, and you know, that's a great thing. Hey, Darren, talk to me about that. Was it hard for you?
Yes, it was very hard as far as raising my son on my own. the thing is having a good support system and people that's backing you in every decision that you make. And just the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when they are old, they won't depart from it. So if we instill the character, the values, the morals, and use God as the foundation for their life, then they can't go wrong.
Amen.
Well,
Let's talk to me, man.
All right. My situation is a little different than Tony's and Darren, and I got to clarify because my ex-wife was present. We separated, and the most difficult time for me was at that separation because you know how the courts do it, and you know how society works. Both of my daughters stayed with their mom. Well, once we divorced, I received residential custody, which means I had more responsibility. I had more decisions to make, and their mom was a great mom, but God saw fit to give me residential custody. But what I want to say, and I keep going back to this, what's important is the children. So my kids never knew that I had residential custody until they became adults. Because what I found to be most difficult was laying down all the anger and saying to my ex-wife, we've got to work together. It's about the kids. So my situation is a little different, but it was also difficult because my problem wasn't the kids. It was making sure that she and I worked together to make this thing work.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, because that is one of the most difficult things in a lot of cases is that the parents can be an issue because they're not working together for the development of the child. They're sitting there arguing and fussing, or in some cases using the child as leverage one against each other. And so it's unfortunate that happens, and I'm glad you brought that up, that you are saying that it was the child that was the most important factor and that you decided to take any kind of anger or frustration you all may have against each other and to make sure that the child was raised properly. And in a lot of cases, we don't do that. But statistically, and I'm going to read this out real quick, society makes it seem like African-American fathers are not there. But the CDC is basically saying that it says this: by most measures, black fathers are just as involved in their children's lives than any other fathers in similar family and living situations, or even more, according to the new National Center of Health Statistics. Now, here's the statistics that they use. Children under 5 fed or eat meals with their children daily. 63% Latinos, 73% whites, 78% African-American men are doing that with their children. 78. Now, you're not going to hear that anywhere else because most of the times you think the father's not there. Bathing, diapers, and dressing children. I know there's some women out there, my husband, my man don't do. Well, we ain't talking about your man. We talking about all black men, okay? So relax for a second. So bathe, diapers, and dress their children. 45% Latinos, 60% whites, 70% African-American males. Play with their children on a daily basis. 74% Latinos, 82.7%. This is the one situation where the African-American wasn't ahead. 82.7 whites, 82.2% African-American. The statistics go on, and I'm going to read it again, but this is something that we don't hear, Les, about African-American males. Society has deemed itself, and one of the angry things that I get so frustrated, I don't even watch the news anymore, that everything about it is negative African-American men, and you've got to dig up somewhere on the internet to be able to find that there are statistics out there. They say, we don't, the people perish because of lack of knowledge. We don't actually look for information about that. And so we need to get to a point where we're actually studying this information the way we should. Les, talk to me a little bit about the fact that we're learning today. Is this something new that African-American fathers are there?
Well, first, I want to say to anyone listening, do not be misled. Any of us can lie with numbers. Give me about 5 minutes, and I'll put you together some numbers that'll tell you something that you'll believe because I threw numbers at you.
Right.
What I'd like to focus on is what we're actually doing now and going forward, because those numbers are not telling us anything different. We as black men have loved our kids 100 years ago, 200 years ago. We love them today. We'll love them tomorrow. So I don't focus on those numbers, but what I say